Hello, this is Shannon.
And I'm Melanie.
And welcome to the Book Chronicles. This is our Booktubeathon wrap-up.
Day 7.
It's over. But I'm going to go through mine and then she's going to go through hers. I didn't complete all 7 challenges, but I did have, in my opinion, a very successful Booktubeathon and completed most of the reading challenges.
And that's the point, to have to engage in reading and just have a good time.
And I read more than I have ever read in a freaking week. So, yeah, yay Shannon.
That's the most important thing.
So, the first challenge was, I lost my challenges. Okay. The first challenge was to let a book decide your first, toy cloth decide your first read. Well, as you know, I did kind of cheat a bit. I didn't go exactly in order, and I kind of changed my TBR throughout Booktubeathon, but I did read my coin toss book, which was The Takedown, by Corey Wang. Was I impressed as I wanted to be with it? No. Was it okay for me? Yes. I mean, the ending did really make up for it, but I did kind of have a hard time getting through this book.
And I read Eleanor and Park for my coin toss book. It was between Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell and autobiography by Christina Lauren.
Right.
So I enjoyed Eleanor and Park. The ending felt like it was not resolved very well. Sometimes I feel that way with a lot of contemporary books, that they leave it up to the reader's imagination to resolve the book. But a lot of what I wanted in the book to be resolved was resolved. It had great representation, Asian representation, bullying. There are triggers for abuse, physical abuse. All in all, it was a wonderful read. Like I said at the beginning of Booktubeathon, when I read this book, it has become vastly become my favorite. R.L. Stein, Rainbow Rowell has vastly become my favorite author, especially contemporary author. It's when I read Kindred Spirits, this little small 57 page book for World Book Day. It got me into Rainbow Rowell, and I was really impressed with the book. So I enjoyed that book a whole lot. And it turned me on to wanting to read more of Rainbow Rowell. So I read Fangirl and I've read Eleanor and Park, and I have to say I was not disappointed. Also, Fangirl had twin rep, which I really love. I love twin representation. I don't see that often in a lot of books. I know there were probably 2 books that I've read thus far since I've started recreational reading with Shannon that had twin representation in it, so that was awesome. So
the next challenge was to read a book about something you want to do. Now I know I had already started this. This was a buddy read with Melissa and Lico, but by Plain Jane. And the reason why I chose this for that challenge was because I'd like to, I think it'd be cool to be a ghost hunter.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
And my next read is completed the book to movie adaptation. Oh, I'm sorry. What was your Here I Am?
I wanted to read Dear Martin because I always wanted to sit down and have coffee with Dr. King.
Right.
I always thought that he was an amazing individual and you could learn so much from him.
Did you read Dear Martin yet?
I did not get a chance to read Dear Martin. So I'll have to say The Devil Wears Prada, because I would love to work for a magazine company, and I'd love to work in New York. I think that, live in New York, I think that would be really
And that was
cool.
Also your book to movie adaptation.
That was also my book to movie adaptation. Miranda Priestley and her assistant Emily were not as mean as they were in the movie, which I really actually appreciated. The book was better than the movie, if you can believe that, because Meryl Streep is a very good actress. And so is Anne Hathaway. However, the book was really, really good. And it wasn't as hateful as the movie, which I actually appreciated. It was by Lauren Weissenberger. And I really enjoyed
And my book to movie adaptation was the Creep Show graphic novel.
Oh gosh, I'll never go near plants again.
It also it actually completed that, a book with green on the cover, because it had green right here, and then also it, wearing the hat. I wore the purple one, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, she stepped beside me and was laying down.
Yeah, I wore this hat like this the entire time. So, this actually, I know.
It was cute. And it was a hat that her mom gave.
It completed 3 challenges of itself.
And it was special, too, because it was a hat that your mom actually gave you for Christmas. And
probably the last Christmas.
Yes, the last Christmas gift she gave us.
And then, did you read a book with green on the cover and your book to movie adaptation? I think this was that, and then your...
The book with green on the cover was American Panda and by Gloria Chow. And the cup is mint green. So I said, I'm going to cheat a little bit. It has green on the cover, so it's not all green or anything. But I really enjoyed the book. It's about Mei Lu, who is a Taiwanese young lady who comes from strict old world parents who want her to become a doctor and marry in a high status. She doesn't want to be a doctor. She wants to dance, and she wants to live her own life. So this is a beautiful coming-of-age story, and I can't say it enough. I would love if Mei Lu was our BFF. She would be so cool to sit down with and have chat and have coffee with, and just to learn from. The Mandarin in the book was really wonderful. I do not speak Mandarin, however, I do watch a booktube channel by Squibbles Read. She said that the audiobook, the reader did actually speak Mandarin, so the Mandarin was authentic. And I can tell that the narrator for the audiobook did speak Mandarin fluently. So I learned a few words like Mei Ching means mom, but it's a more authoritative version of mama. So I learned a few Mandarin words, and so that was also cool too, to learn a few words in another language. I've always wanted to learn a second language, and eventually that will be Hebrew, because that is on my bucket list. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I really did. And if you want a good contemporary read, I'm a contemporary reader, guys. And any book by Rainbow Rowell and this book by Gloria Chow, I would highly recommend.
And the next challenge was to read a book with a beautiful spine. And I read The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender. Ava, however you want to say it.
Ariel Bissett had a working joke about that because some people pronounce it.
But as you can see, look at the spine, very beautiful.
Copper, gold, and
if you
blue.
read the book, you'll understand the feathers. But again, go into this with caution. There are some triggers for abuse and rape and suicide. So please read this knowing that. If you're triggered by anything like that, it may not be the read for you. But you could always come back when you're in a better state to read it. But it's a beautiful book. I enjoyed it. But that was completed my beautiful spine challenge. And
I'm going to get on a soapbox because I think that all authors who have triggering issues in a book should write on the front. There is one book out there, and I can't remember the name of it, that actually put the trigger warnings and what the trigger warnings were on their book. So that was really exciting to see that they did that. However, I wish that they had done that with this book and a lot of books. Sometimes I watch some booktubers on TV, and they were discussing this book, and some of them didn't mention the triggers. But Julie from Pages and Pens, she did. And people like that, I really appreciate bringing to the forefront the idea that there are triggers in certain books and what those triggers are. So for suicidal ideations, rape, and abuse, for the
Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender. And the next book I read, what was your beautiful spine?
I was going to be Geek Gorilla. I didn't get around to it. I ended up reading some of Night Film, and I didn't finish it because, oh my gosh, this book. I like it, but it's not. It has a lot of action in it. But guys, this is a 500-page book. They could have truncated the book down a whole lot and ramped up those.
I like the bulky books. I like.
But they could have truncated the action scenes and got to the point. I mean, that is one thing. I have ADHD and nonverbal learning disorder, so you know it's like that dog that's a squirrel. You know, I'll get off topic easily, so it's hard for me to engage in a book that isn't really intriguing and doesn't grab me from the beginning to end. I mean, it was a great read, and there are a lot of action scenes and a lot of mystery, but I haven't finished it. I know there are some interactive parts with the phone that you can use, a smartphone, and there are pictures and cutouts of articles and stuff, which I really appreciated. However, this book was so long, and I have that, that idea of I can't focus sometimes. If a book is too long, it's like squirrel. I'm off base. I'm thinking of something else. I just can't focus. So I don't know how I'm going to get through it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to focus and sit down and read it all October and be able to do that. But that got me.
And the next book I read, I added to my Booktubeathon TBR simply because it was the book club read of the month, the Butterfly Book Club, and that was My Life Next Door. I completed that.
This was...
it doesn't necessarily fall under any, challenge.
But this was the contemporary for the month, though. Because we had contemporary month. This is the book that was drawn out of the jar for our book club, and it was suggested by Ashley from Ashley versus the Bookish Agenda, which is, she's a phenomenal booktuber. If you get a chance to check out her channel, again, that's Ashley versus the Bookish Agenda. Please check her channel out. She did a very good job about suggesting this book. This was a great book for the book club. There were some things I didn't like about it, but
you can catch the live show in our book club
if you are a member and on Facebook. And it's a closed book club, so you have to be asked. So we don't.
But pick it up. It's an awesome read, and it basically the only challenge it worked toward was the 7th one, which was read 7 books. Sadly, I didn't get to complete. That was the only challenge I didn't complete. But My Life Next Door.
Well, we didn't do book dominoes either. Some of the video challenges. Like
maybe next year I'll have more time. Maybe I'll know more in advance and maybe request some time off and take a vacation during that, and that way I'll be all about it. And
yeah, we'll be better prepared. This is our first Booktubeathon, which I thought we did very well, considering it was our first Booktubeathon. Thank you, Ariel Bissett, for setting up this Booktubeathon and the challenges. It was so fun to be involved as a community with our Booktube friends and enjoy the time reading together.
And the next book, I did manage to start another book, and I'm buddy reading this with Melissa over at Melissa and Barnesy Read, but this is Campfire. It's from the James Patterson Presents imprint, and it's by Sean Sarles. I think that's how you pronounce the name.
She already said this book is awesome.
It's
when campfire stories become real, correct? Am I correct in that assumption?
We got to page 100, and I may read more tonight. I don't know.
That's chapter 8.
Depends on how I feel. I've had a pretty long reading week, so I may read a little bit more of this tonight. Think we're gonna do another 100 pages by tomorrow, but I'll try to read at least maybe another 50 pages tonight. Don't know how much more.
And I'm hoping before the movie comes out, well, the movie's already out. It's August. I don't know what day in August it came out, but it was The Miseducation of Cameron Post. So I do want to read this book before I see the movie. I may not get to see it in theaters, but I will get it on iTunes. Unfortunately, some movies like this are not in every theater around, just like the Zookeeper's Wife wasn't in every theater around. It's only in certain theaters in big cities, so I may not even be able to find it in the local theater unless it's downtown Nashville, which is about, what, an hour away from us. To, you know, going to Parnassus Books was a treat because that's a drive. That's a drive. So I'm hoping to be able to find a theater that has this movie so that we can give a review on the movie after I've read the book. So this is going to be on my TBR. We'll have a video with our TBR for Tech Month, which is this month, my birth month, August.
And I'm just thinking of enough. I guess I guess I can share with you some books my uncle had given me. Just happened to gave me. I don't know when then I'll get to them, but I definitely will read most of them. But the first one kind of looks like he's had it a while, but Elvis, What Happened?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, my uncle was sweet enough to bring me by.
Tennessee Memphis Man.
Yeah, Elvis.
Had a hard life.
And he gave us a lot of biographies.
Which is really cool for Nonfiction November.
Yeah,
you know?
and then this one is called Life by Keith Richards.
The Guitar Man for the Rolling Stones.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought that'll probably be interesting. And then I'll read this, but it's Where White Men Fear to Tread. Autobiography of Russell Means with Marvin J. Wolfe. I believe it's about, I don't know much about it.
It's a Native American
representation.
Yes, and you have a lot of Native American in you. So
Yeah, so maybe,
that'll hit a
maybe we'll have like a month where we read.
Yeah. Yeah, I think November would be a good month since that's Native American History Month here in America.